understand the origin of the Indian Navy, one must look back at the most significant incident that cemented the values of our naval forces, morals of our actions that shook the British from their very foundation. Do you know what incident I am referring to?
Sir, the uprisings of 1946.
Correct. The Royal Indian Naval Revolt of 1946. Can anyone tell me where did this revolt take place?
Mumbai, sir. But, sir, all that we know is date and place. How did it happen, sir?
Well, to understand that, we must look back at India after the Second World War.
One of the crucial parts of this was the Bengal famine of 1943. There was a loss of 3 million lives in the Bengal famine of 1943. The ratings were part of the society which was affected by all of this. The immensity of the famine was because of negligence and speculation meant that they were that much more angry. To come back to a system where the food in the mess was impossible to eat, and to understand that the food across India is in shortage, but at a time when they can barely afford to eat for themselves, Britain is supplying from India to Holland. This, I think, is a crucial dimension of the RIN, Mutiny of 1946.
Post-World War II, in February 1946, practically the whole Indian Navy rose up against its British officers. They used it as one more evidence of its disaffection with the current state of affairs. The Indian Navy between 1943 and 45 have expanded several fold. There were now 30,000 ratings in the Navy, all waiting to be demobilized.
Hey, what are you reading?
I'm reading a book on naval mutiny, 1946.
That's nice. That's a topic I just covered in class today.
Oh, really? That's so nice.
Hello.
Hi, baby. So tell me one thing. How is a mutiny justified in a defense setting?
See, that's where we get it wrong. It has been branded as an act of mutiny by the then British leadership. It was not a mutiny. The actions of the naval ratings was just to showcase the solidarity towards the freedom struggle, and it was a fight to protect their rights. Even in that matter, for instance, when the Indian National Army got disbanded, officers and soldiers of the Indian National Army were arrested. Major General Shah Nawaz Khan, Colonel Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon, Colonel Prem Kumar Sehgal were tried for treason by the British authorities at Red Fort. And they were not criminals, they were patriots who were fighting for the independence of the country.
According to the RIN Inquiry Commission, they were of the view that the Indian Armed Forces, as a result of their travel and their service abroad, had become very much politically as well as nationally conscious, particularly the Royal Indian Navy. Navy Central Strike Community presented their demand list, and this demand list was not only about men in the naval uniform. What they wanted was that all political prisoners, including those of the INA, to be released. And they wanted action to be taken against the Commander King, that is the CEO of the Talwar, for using derogatory and insulting language in their communication with the ratings. They also insisted on a very speedy demobilization and provision for resettlement in peacetime employment. At the same time, they wanted same pay scales and allowances to be given to them as of the RN ratings. The other demand that they had was they get access to the NAFI canteens, better quality of food, and they did not want that they should be compelled to return their clothing kit when they were released from service. And the last demand that they had was that all Indian troops should be withdrawn from Indonesia.
His Majesty's India ship Talwar, which was basically the communications shore establishment located in Bombay. So they had access to wireless radio, and which they used to great effect because they were adept at using military communication systems.
An unprecedented demonstration of solidarity sounded across cities till the message of resistance travelled pan-India. The public transport network was brought to a grinding halt. Trains were burned, roadblocks were erected, and commercial establishments were shut down. On February 23rd, 1946, over 30,000 workers, students, Hindus, Muslims, all those identifying as true Indians gathered.
So the British view was that this was a mutiny which was threatening to get out of hand, needed to be put down, needed to be quelled. 21st of February, when the mutiny was about 4 days old, the Royal Indian Navy was threatened with wholesale destruction. A squadron of bombers was flown over the Bombay harbour to intimidate the rebellious sailors and ratings, but also the citizens and the people of Bombay who had gathered near the gateway of India to offer support.
While the British military mobilized troops to drown the demonstration of the people in blood, the protesters stood their ground bravely, showing their commitment to resistance. Insufferably, 300 civilians lost their lives and over 1,500 injured during the aggression. The RIN strike was not confined to Bombay alone. Karachi joined hands. These were the two sites of fierce battles and heroic resistance. Within a day or two, the strike spread practically to every shore establishment and ship of the RIN within British-occupied India and abroad.
It is rather unfortunate that while generating popular support, the uprising did not garner the backing of prominent political parties. So the movement was rather leaderless and rudderless. The naval uprising was considered as just a one-off episode and not the continuation of a political movement. And the happenings in Bombay and elsewhere were looked upon as acts of indiscipline and defiance of authority by most of the political leaders of significance.
No democracy, no freedom, only dependence and subjugation, not just subordination. All of these were brought to light in a whole lot of ways through the mutiny. This, I think, is the single crucial factor that led up to India's independence. Because colonialism is based on force in a whole lot of ways. When those on whom you depend to provide the force are themselves objecting to your use of force, then you cannot hold the action. Those who participated were never reinstated with failures. So the aftermath of the mutiny was defense for India undoubtedly, but not justice for the Indians. So it took a very long time for the mutineers to be ratings rather than mutinies.
One always wishes to join any mighty service with zeal and retire with glory. Sadly, for several people in Castle Barracks, those who fought in the war got nothing to dishonor. He received a certificate discharged with disgrace from His Majesty's service. These honorable men walked out with their heads held high to fight further and build a new emerging nation. They faced the tides of oppression with persistence. They were ready to serve the waves of time with honesty and commitment.
The Royal Indian Navy strike has altogether opened a new chapter in the history of our armed forces. Our boys in their zeal might have done few things which we disagree with, but that cannot minimize its importance or wash away the powerful reactions which this event created in this country.
धरती की सुलगती छाती के बेचैन सहारे पूछते हैं, तुम लोग जिन्हें अपना ना सके, वो खून के धारे पूछते हैं। सड़कों की ज़बा चिल्लाती हैं, सागर के किनारे पूछते हैं, ये किसका लहू है, कौन मरा? ए रहबर ए मुल्क व कौम बता, ये किसका लहू है, कौन मरा?